Hi, my name is Shelley Meyer, and I will be doing the Walt Disney Company Diversification Strategy in 2012 case study. We had an assignment with some questions, and I will be presenting what I have found in my case study. In the beginning, let me do an introduction of what I will be going over. I will be doing a summary of the Walt Disney Company strategy, an assessment of the long-term attractiveness and competitive strengths, the strength and attractiveness of the 9-cell strategy, and does Walt Disney's portfolio fit the company, the value chain matchups, opportunities for skills and transfers, cost sharing, and branding sharing, assessment of the company's financial and operative performance, and actions recommended to improve. First of all, I want to start off with presenting you with Disney's mission statement. In 2013, this is what I found for their mission statement. The Walt Disney Company's objective is to be one of the world's leading producers and providers of the entertainment and information. Using its portfolio of brands and differentiate its content, services, and consumer products, the company's primary financial goals are to maximize earnings and cash flow and to allocate capital towards growth initiative that will drive long-term shareholder values. So let's start with their corporate strategy. What I found in their corporate strategy is they are creating a high-quality family environment, which means that they are targeting the family environment, and they do it very strongly. Next, exploiting technical innovations to make entertainment experience more memorable. So they're making a very memorable product for these people and their target market. International expansion, they are trying to expand overseas, China. They have resorts everywhere, which I will go over later in the slides. Sufficient capital to be allocated to its core, theme parks and resort business to sustain its advantage in the industry. So they are trying to build their theme parks, gain capital in them, and make it a strong industry overall. Now, there's 4 different SBUs in the Disney. So we're going to go over their corporate strategy for some of those. First, let's do media networks. Included in the domestic and international cable networks, they are strong in this, meaning that they use the media to expand and advertise or get their name out there. Who doesn't know of Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse or anything like that? That's kind of where they're gaining on. They're very known there. And most of their stations are number 1, which when they're talking about stations, they have several different stations, which I will go over, TV stations, and then they use radio to promote their product and to gain recognition for their brands. Corporate strategies for their parks and resorts. They own Walt Disney Resort in Orlando, Disneyland Resort in California, Disneyland Resort and Spa in Hawaii, and Disney Vacation Clubs and Disney Cruise Lines. So you can see that they have expanded on just one little thing and just kind of kept growing and growing, meaning that they have financial stability and that capital, and they keep gaining on that. They own 51% interest in Disneyland in Paris, own 47% interest in Hong Kong Disneyland, and 43% interest in Shanghai Disney Resorts. They are licensed to the operation in Tokyo and in Tokyo Disney in Japan. So they keep continuing to grow and gaining and having part interest in all these, which is just gaining financial stability for them. Corporate strategy, studio entertainment. They are very well known for this. We've all seen Disney movies, and they've grown over the year. They've united with Pixar and Marvel films, so they just keep expanding and expanding to build all this. Their strategy in this department is to make 2 animated films a year, a Disney and a Pixar, 2 Marvel films a year, roughly 6 Disney-branded live-action films, and operate on the belief that their return and investment in those branded movies are likely to better them in the overall industry. So they are not going for quantity, they're going for more of a quality and a memorable experience for their their target market. So they come back and they know that whatever Disney's producing, or Pixar or Marvel, that they're extraordinary films and they keep wanting to go see them. Acquisition strategy. This helped Walt Disney build its animation goldmine. By doing that, they are buying IP that is underexploited and overused by owners. So they're just kind of targeting people who are not very knowledgeable and gaining off theirs and building off what they can. Buying capital to reach consumers in new places and new ways. For instance, Tokyo, Shanghai, all those places. So they just keep building and buying and gaining capital. Their media network consists of 5 different stations that I found. They have the Disney Television Group, the ABC Television Network, ABC Family, Disney Channel, which is really popular with my girls, and then ESPN, which I kind of like. So you can see that they are very well known. Their channels are very well known and why they are high ranked with everything. Next, we have the 20 most highest grossing animated films. This just kind of supports why they are so strong financially, and every film they do, how they just, keep building and growing and making a profit. If you look at the list, rank, peak, all that is on here. It's got the rank of and then the title, and then the worldwide gross and what year it came out. And if you look at it, you can kind of see that from 2003, and then there were a few years skipped, but on up to this year, they have pretty much had a really high grossing film worldwide, which just keeps supporting their financial stability and their shareholders and everything. So they have a very strong film section there. Their top one was Frozen, worldwide gross, and it is outrageous. So just go ahead and look at that, and I'm sure you're familiar with a lot of the films: Frozen, Toy Story 3, Lion King, one of my personal favorites, Despicable Me, which is hilarious, Finding Nemo, Shrek 2. I just watched Shrek 3 last night, so love it. I honestly can't think of a bad movie Disney's ever done. That's my personal opinion, but I really do think they have a goldmine going with these films. Now, their long-term attractiveness portfolio. What we're going to go over in this is it something that is very attractive to a shareholder, or like to us, is it something that gains them popularity, they build on? And there's 5 SBUs in that, and there's media, parks and recreation, studio motion pictures, consumer product, and interactive media. So let's do media and interactive media. Now, media is attractive, but interactive media is not so much. They don't gain a lot of revenue from this. This is just something kind of getting them, people know that they have it available product. Media, though, offers opportunity to expand and prophesize in the technology area, and then affordable for a failing economy. So, this is something that if you don't have a lot of funds, you still can go out and do the social media or do the media and interact online with Disney and some of their film things that they offer. They do some games online and things like that. Makes a positive social media forum. So by offering this at a lower, for low or failing economy, this is something that you can always have and people are accustomed to, or their kids, they can give their kids without, spending a lot of money. And like I said, it makes it easy and affordable for a growing market. Next, let's do the parks and resorts. This is a very attractive for them. It supports technology advancements. They're always improving. They're always gaining, building on these. As we've talked about, they have a unique theme for minimal threat of duplicates. So this means that, like Mickey Mouse, no one can duplicate Mickey Mouse. No one can duplicate Disney World or Disneyland. You're going to see Goofy, Donald Duck, Cinderella. This is something that is just them. This is their theme. No one can steal it. No one can market it after them. They got the copyright to this. And then it is a market theme for park and resorts, is well suited for its occupants. So the people it targets is the people who want to go. It's people who have been, they can take their families, they can, that know Disney, know Cinderella, know all that. This is what they're targeting. This is what they're counting on, banking on, and it's working for them. Consumer products is very attractive. It's a high supplier power, which means they have the copyright on all this. No one can copyright their product, and if they do, they have to buy. So target market is large. You know, Disney is attracted to every family. What family hasn't went to a Disney movie, or what family doesn't want to go take their kids to Disneyland? You know, this is just offering an experience that no one else can offer these families or offer their target market. So it keeps them going and building on, because it's generations to come. Okay, now we're going to go over a few of the threats and risk. An extraordinary amount of tangible assets, which present more risks than traditional. So tangible, you know, is something that they have, but it's not like a traditional asset. You know, it can more risk involved with that. So a company's reputation is well known in the U.S., but they are still working globally. Everyone who's grown up has grown up with Disney here. Japan, not so much. China, not so much. You know, it's just something that they're trying to get to build on and make people aware of, and you know, it's something that they're taking globally and starting to buy in and things. Products and services that are at premium price, which means they're a little higher price, makes it harder for an affordable family or a low-income family or something to do with their children. You know, sure, you can take them to a movie, but can you take them to Disneyland or resorts or cruise lines, you know? So that kind of limits them a little bit. Each SBU can have a high level of competition for each area. Let's media, for example. You know, you got your Disney channel, but you also got other channels, you know, that people are accustomed to. So like Lifetime and things like that. So there is a little bit of a competition, and it's a growing competition. Everyone's trying to market and get into that. So it keeps it going. There's an inclusion of high-risk investments and holdings. So just something to think about there in investments. And then a lack of corporate control. It's such a big company that corporate-wide and growing and expanding that the communication levels aren't there. And, you know, they have to kind of make sure that they're reviewing and always staying on top of financial stability and where they're sitting at financially for all their BSUs. So, SBUs, sorry. And then just kind of keep a watch on that. But when you have so many places, corporate level, they have to make sure they're communicating, or there is lack of, control there. Now, strengths. Tremendous brand recognition that like I said, every household knows Disney in the United States, or almost every household. They have tons of financial power and stability, a diversified portfolio, responsiveness to the market and change, which means they're always trying to improve their products or add to it, high quality, and substantial asset holdings. They have lots of assets. They are huge in assets and capital, so that's one thing for them. Now we're going to go over the 9-style industry matrix. As you can see on the graph I've provided, it shows you the high strengths, the medium strengths, and the low strengths. So in the high, we have media networks, and park and recreations. Medium, we have studio entertainment and interactive. And then low is consumer products to the weak and strong. So we're going to go over those a little bit here now. Let's analyze this. Okay, so their strong area was media network, getting their name out there, like, social media, things like that. Parks and resorts, we talked about that. They are always, accustomed to the people, certain people, and they got a target market, and that target market supports it. And then studio entertainment, which is really high because, we talked about the films they produce and how high of gross they're bringing in at least once a year. So they have a very strong area there. Medium strength consumer products. We talked about how it's a target market, and it's a higher, their brand, they have a premium brand. So that makes it a little harder for them to be strong in that area, because there's always competition. There's always going to be something cheaper that someone may go with because, they can't afford the Disney product. And then their interactive media, which is a very low strength for them. Now we're going to go over their strategic fit. Does the portfolio exhibit good strategy? Well, this is what I came up with and found. Long existing character created still generates profit and remains popular throughout all of the parks, recreation, cruise lines, and video products. So yes, they continue to profit through these things strongly grow for them and keep going, but they're going to have to find ways to keep improving these. Technology is gaining intelligence with moving forward and dominating the industry, which means they are taking a weakness and building on it and using the technology to gain that. The brand is domination in the industry, which means, Disney is a popular, their ESPN and all that stuff. People pay for these things. This is something that they are known for, and they just keep building their reputation. And all business lines are split between all lines for increased shareholder values. So it means, that these shareholders are making a lot of money, value, and they're splitting them out so they have more shares to sell. So, that just people buying shares right there, I should have researched. I don't even know what they go for, but I would be scared to know. Okay, how does the strategic plan fit Disney? Well, one of the things, weaknesses, I only found one, and it is a growing industry with the restriction of not everyone throughout the world knowing the famous Mickey Mouse name or the Disney name or what Disney is known for. So they're still trying to grow globally and things like that. But their strengths, I found a quote from Forbes, and it says, "We view Disney-Pixar combination as a near-perfect strategic fit. With this, throughout the process of continued building of parks, resorts, theatrical, and home video distribution and consumer products." So this just means that their strategic plan is building. They are continually trying to build and do things that are bettering them and making them more profitable and more appealing to the shareholders and more investments. Okay, so now you're going to see a graph of the revenue trend, the net income trend, and the earnings per share trend from 2010 to 2012. And if you can look there, they continue to improve on each one of these, which is a goal for any company. We want to improve. You want to improve this. This is something that means you're going strong and you're going to continue to grow and build and get those, be appealing to investors. So if we go to the next slide, you're going to see the Disney annual income statement. I found this online, and it kind of shows you the periods. I go from 2011 to 2014. And each time their gross profit has increased, which is ideal what a company wants to do. Their gross revenue, cost of revenue, and total revenue have also went up, except for that first year. So, this is something that this company, they are doing something and they are doing it right. So they do have a lot of things. They are very knowledgeable in this, and they continue to grow, and they've made a franchise. Okay, so now let's go over the Disney SBUs, the strategic business units, and their contributions. The SBUs consist of consumer product studios, parks, recreations, and media broadcasts. We kind of went over that. And then Disney grows for the simple fact that children brand and its target demographic. So, like I said, it's targeting children, which we know there's always children, and it's a good target market because, we do what we can for our kids, and if a kid we want to take them to a Disney movie, if your kid wants to go, you're going to take them. So this is something that they've really, made a smart move on, just targeting those children. And then on the next slide, I found that shows how each business unit contributes. So let's look at this. So you can kind of see here the revenue. The top line's the revenue, and it just tells you the media, the parks, resorts, studio, consumer, and interactive media in 2011 and 2010, those 2 years. Operating expenses, and then it just kind of goes down and then operating income. So you can see that everything there is profitable, but the interactive media. Media by far is the strongest strategic unit. And then you got parks and recreation, studio, and consumer are all effectively leveraging. But, interactive media, they still haven't figured that out. And they're going to have to maybe do some evaluations there to find out what's going on. So this is what I've come up with my recommendations. Strengthen SBUs individually with opportunities in target markets. So examine each strategic business unit, find out weaknesses, find out strengths, then go to your competitors, see what they're doing, why are they better than you, what are they doing different, and come up with a strategic plan as to how to improve this, like for example, interactive media. Next, spread project management and educate for best practice possibles. So make sure that you have enough managers, you're not cutting them too thin, that they can't keep up with each project and know efficiently what's going on, how much expense, if they're staying in the budget, things like that. Make sure that you are not stressing your management team out, and give them enough help to do it effectively and know how to do it. Conduct annual evaluations of each SBU. So like if something's not working, like interactive media, then, maybe this is something we don't need or we can do without if everything else is gaining and this is costing us. So make sure that you're evaluating those yearly and coming up with a plan as to what is working and what's not working. Maintain project portfolios to make sure maintaining timelines, budgets, and progress. This is very important to make sure you have each project, you know what's going on, you know if it's in the budget or not in the budget. If they're following guidelines, their management team's doing what they're supposed to. This is something that you have to stay on top of at a corporate level. And then build company knowledge based with employees. Make sure you're targeting your employees. You know what's going on. They know your mission statement. They know what you're there to do, and that they're on board with you. Because, no one wants to have these employees that are just there, and they want someone, especially Disney, what they're known for with their kids and everything. They need someone there who is going to represent them well and just build on their franchise and what they believe in. Okay, so in my conclusion, this is what I found. Building off of a solid platform and history of the company, Disney continued road to success will be determined by maintaining performance. Also by implementing the recommendation of the progress can be tracked and projects can be evaluated to make sure they stay on track or need to be revised. Continue to build revenue, net earnings, and EPS by evaluation of each SBU and overall company performs with necessary evaluations. So just, make sure you're doing your company evaluations. But overall, Disney is a very solid business franchise. They know what they're doing. They have their strategic plan in place. They have their mission statement, and they continue to build off that and grow globally, and they are working on that. So that was my presentation. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.